I'm Charlaine Jannerfeldt, and you're listening to About That Outdoor Job.
I was amazed and surprised of all the beauty, all the colors that I have seen underwater. So I said, "Oh, I was wasting my life on Earth or on land. There's amazing things and world exist down here."
This is Nouf Alosaimi, scuba diving instructor, PADI Ambassador, and founder of the Red Citizen Dive Club, a dive center in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Nouf's story is one of empowerment that's come from her core belief that you should strive to follow your passion. But who would have thought that the sea and its unique underworld would become that passion for her? Nouf grew up in the mountainous area of Taif, 150 plus kilometers to the nearest coastline along the Red Sea in Saudi Arabia. When I asked her what one of her earliest outdoor memory was, it had nothing to do with the sea. Rather, it was a road trip her father took her and her family that she recollected.
A road trip with my father in America, and we did like a camping on a lake. And it was my first outdoor camping and experience. And we had like rain above tent, and it was very light rain. We woke up in the morning. We had like kayaking in the lake, and we cooked at night with the whole family, me, my brothers, my mom, my dad. So I learned the outdoors started like going outdoors was with my dad because we used to do like road trips in the west coast of America. So that was amazing, unforgettable experience. And that was my first camping experience.
So, Nouf, how did you start scuba diving?
I discovered the diving in the middle of the university. I used to live in Manchester, and it's one of the most rainy cities in the UK, and it's very cold. So I had a holiday, and I didn't really want to go back home. I want to go somewhere else. So I find a good trip to Egypt, like offer. So I booked this trip to Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt on the Red Sea and went there. And then the first day I met the tour guide, and he asked me, or asked us, we were like two girls, where you want to go, what you want to do. I said, this is my first time here, and let me try everything. Book me all the trips and everything you have. And one of them was scuba diving. And yeah, so I was on the boat, and the guy came and asked me, the scuba instructor, do you want to do the scuba dive? I said, of course. And they start to explain to me how to breathe, how to clear my mask, how to equalize. And he took me for my first journey in the Red Sea, and that was not my last journey. That was the life-changing journey.
Do you recall how you felt on that first dive? What made it so life-changing?
Because in the first dive, usually the instructor has to hold you. Because I don't know how to do buoyancy or to be balanced and all this. So I was taking off his hands and just push him away. So leave me alone. I just want to run. I was like crazy person in the water. I just want to be fish, run and see. I was amazed and surprised of all the beauty, all the colors that I have seen underwater. So I said, "Oh, I was wasting my life on Earth or on land. There's amazing things and world exist down here." So yeah, that's how it felt.
Nouf, for those who've never scuba dived, could you describe what a diving experience is like for you?
Like like you don't hear music, but it looks like music, like symphony, like I don't know something. So like we say, this is an open art gallery created like by God. This is how I see it.
At the time Nouf discovered scuba diving, she was attending the University of Salford in the UK. Becoming a scuba diver instructor still wasn't on her radar. What career were you contemplating when you started your university studies in Manchester?
Actually, I was thinking I would be a journalist or a TV presenter working on the media. I loved photography that time, but then everything changed. They closed, actually, I was going to study media language with business, but they closed this department or degree in the university, so I had to change to another thing. So I had a friend who's studying tourism management. She's from Oman. I asked her because I love traveling, I love countries. She said it's really nice major. So I turned because Saudi at that time we didn't even have tourism. Like I know I have no future, but I wanted to study tourism because I love tourism. And I studied tourism management. And my thesis, I discovered the diving in the middle of the university. So my thesis was about marine and diving tourism.
Yes, you heard that right. Back in 2011, when Nouf graduated university with her bachelor degree in tourism management, Saudi Arabia hadn't opened its borders to international tourism yet. This would only happen in 2019. You returned to Saudi after you graduated. What did you do then?
Actually, when I came to Saudi, I worked in tourism company. I was like travel consultant, but all I used to do is booking trips for doctors and add the company percent. And this is not actually what I wanted to do. So just 3 months and then I quit because I wanted to book trip for myself, not the others. So I'm working for someone's dream, not my dream. So 3 months I said, guys, I'm quitting this job. And then I went to my family. I'm moving to Egypt. I want to learn more about scuba diving. I want to become professional. And this has really changed my life.
Quitting your job after only 3 months? How did your family and friends react?
The idea of quitting a proper job and going for freelancing or diving or pursuing your dream and your hobby and the things you love in life, it's challenging in the beginning because people they don't expect it or accept it because people the stereotype that you have to go to university to have a secure job and income in the end. This is not how I see myself. Actually, every time I I find out that what I did was the best thing for myself because I found out that I'm a person who how can not the secure and the like having a proper job and this financially secure it's not for everyone. It depends about your values of freedom exploring or your value to have a stability income money. So it depends about the person. There is no a typical way of living in this life is huge, so everyone has to live it the way they want and they feel fulfilled.
So Nouf found herself in Egypt once again, but this time with the determined intent to be part of the scuba diving world. It wasn't that easy for her to do, though.
So I decided to become scuba diving instructor. I got my IDC course, and then I become instructor. Once I become instructor, I found in my neighborhood the person who took me scuba diving for the first time. I told him, "Do you remember me? I went diving for the first. You are the one who took me diving. Now I become instructor." And at this moment, he was the manager of a new dive center. He asked me, "Would you like to come and work with us?" And it was Dive Center 5 stars hotel. I said, "Of course." And then the next day, I started to work like proper like scuba diving instructor, meeting people, teaching diving.
As I said at the start of this episode, Nouf is all about empowerment. She herself felt empowered and supported by her family to follow her passion, and she wanted to do the same for other Saudi women divers that might not be as lucky as she was. How did you come to set up the Pink Bubbles diving community for Saudi women?
When I was in Egypt and I wanted to go back to Saudi. I wanted to see the females and to connect the females divers together to teach them diving because there's a lot of male instructors, so I don't really need to teach men how to scuba dive. I want to focus more on the female because they don't know that there are scuba diving females. They don't know that they are able to do this. So I started Pink Bubbles to empower these women to take them and teach them scuba diving and to connect the female divers in Saudi Arabia together. And then we started to do PADI Women's Dive Day in 2017.
And earlier this month, you inaugurated your own dive center, the Red Sea Citizen Dive Club. Congratulations!
Yes, finally. That was one of my dreams to have my own PADI Dive Center.
What was the dream about, Nouf?
Having your own dive center, like you certify divers under your diving center's name, and you have your own team, and you work together, and it's not just you. Before it was just me. Now it's a thing. It's not just me. It's a team. It's who works together to the ocean, who works together to teach, to educate, to run trips, and to protect the ocean. So it's different now. It's more official. Like,
So, Nouf, what's a typical work week for you as a scuba diver instructor and managing the dive center?
to be honest, I don't like to have a typical thing, and I don't like routine every day like the same week, like the last week. The good thing about our job, and that's what's driving me in life, that every day is different. Every week is different. Today I'm in Jeddah, tomorrow I'm in Egypt, after tomorrow I'm in the Maldives. it's amazing. In 1 month, you can be in different places. So we don't really have a typical week or typical days. It's always all the days and all the weeks works toward the ocean. Yeah.
Nouf is passionate about scuba diving, but what really gets her excited about her job is the people she gets to meet.
To be honest, the most beautiful part of my profession that I met a lot of close friends. I made a lot of close friends from scuba diving. So it's not just diving; it's people as well that you meet through the sport. I get to meet a lot of people who are like-minded, who are really interesting, who had a great story and purpose in life, and everyone is different. I learned from a lot of people who are like they are good at their field.
Yet Nouf is very candid about the fact that what gets her excited about her job can also be a challenging part of her work. Dealing with people in a context where processes and rules are a question of safety and maybe even survival can put strain on interactions. Living on board a ship 24/7 for a week with your crew and clients, that can also bring about irritations. Nouf tells me about the importance of being able to read people to be happy in this job. How do you make it work for you? What skills have helped you?
Yeah, I think flexibility and being open, and you know how to deal with each personality. Like if you don't like the person, you don't have to be like, I don't like you. No, you have to know how to deal. To like the person, not to like him, it's not your issue here. You know how to deal with each personality. Some personalities they open and they're outgoing, some they're closed. They need more time to get to talk to them. The personality, I think, in this job, it has to be open. You can deal with all type of personality. I think this is one of the things. Like I can deal with everyone.
And that's not the only challenge Nouf concedes to her profession.
Our job, it's so risky. For example, we get people booking with us. They want to come and we booked the boat, we paid for the boats, and we prepared everything, and we paid for all the logistics and everything. And then suddenly there is storm. It's too windy. We can't do the trip. A lot of factors that it's out of our hands by nature, because our job is about nature, and nature are unexpectable. So that's the most challenging thing, the weather. And sometimes we don't make income, Charlene, because sometimes we do and organize and we do a big trip and there is no work income because of the number of people who booked with you. It doesn't cover, they just cover the expenses. But if you don't love this job, you won't be able to continue because some risk and some trips, you just come zero profit. If you don't love it, you will never be like, you will never do the trip again and again and again. So I think you must be passionate and you really love your job to do it even with this risk.
Nouf has been diving for over a decade now, and she's seen the sport be practiced and taught by more and more women. She often gets named the first Saudi woman scuba diver instructor, but she's quick to clarify.
So they were more Saudi female instructor before I become instructor. Sometimes they say, you are the first Saudi scuba diving instructor. I say, no, I'm not. I'm not the first. Before I was born, there were a Saudi female scuba instructor. The rescue course, I got it with a Saudi female instructor.
Have you found it challenging to be accepted as a woman scuba diver instructor by colleagues or clients?
Sometimes the female or their moms, they don't trust their daughter to go and learn with female instructor because they think we can't, if there's any problem occur in the diving or happen in a situation, we can't handle it. But to be honest, what I found out that women are more patient with the student. Plus, they are more aware of the standard and the rules, the regulation. To be honest, we want to prove ourselves, so we give our best.
Recently, this has been changing. Nouf explains the trend she's now seeing.
After the pandemic, we had the number of people who wants to learn diving in Saudi went so high. So maybe because of being at home, so people they found out, oh, there's a lot of things in life we didn't explore. So after the pandemic, they want to explore, they want to do crazy stuff. So the number of divers and people who signed up for diving courses is actually higher than usual after the pandemic. Now I had more requests about women and female instructor. So now it's the opposite. We have like more demand. Before we don't have a lot of demands and few instructors. Now we have a lot of demand for female instructors, especially for kids, especially for women, because the diving requires a lot of physical contact. So it's more comfortable to have a female instructor than male. So yeah, I think now it changed positively.
Part of the mission of the series Women Outdoor Jobs is to share the stories and experiences of women like Nouf, who've successfully made the outdoors their living so that women who want to achieve that for themselves can benefit from their learnings and advice. This is what Nouf would say to you.
Yeah, because if you're happy with yourself, with the thing you're doing, you will add value to your society. You know, even your mental health would be great because you're doing what you love. But imagine you have this pressure, you go to this work and you make a lot of money and you don't have any mental health. Like you have a lot of anxiety, stress because of work. I don't think this is how we should live life.
What's some of the best advice you received that's helped you through your career?
The things that out of your hand, don't waste your time thinking about it, because this is what how I used to do it. Like my godfather in diving, my captain, my partner now in Red Sea Citizen, he's the one who told me this advice. Because sometimes I just panic. No, we didn't have enough people booking on this trip. He said these things are out of your hand. Why are you wasting your time on it and thinking about it? So this is the best advice, and now I'm working on this advice. But if you just take it and live day by day and you always being positive, things will work out. He's wise. I'm not sometimes.
And what key piece of advice would you give someone considering becoming a scuba diver instructor?
First of all, you have to be passionate and you have to be a risk taker. And then you can just go ahead because it has a lot of opportunities. You can explore a lot of spots in the world. You can travel. You can meet a lot of people in your life that are so interesting. So if you have the passion and you are risk taker, go ahead.
And I couldn't finish this interview without asking Nouf what was one of her most surprising encounters when diving.
The most surprising. That's a good question. Encounter. Octopus meeting.
Octopus mating. What was that like to witness?
Yeah, it was so romantic and gentle, and it's so amazing. Yeah, seeing how the male approaching the female and nicely and gently, it was amazing. So you really want to marry an octopus this time.
A huge thank you to Nouf for taking the time to talk with me during a busy week launching her own dive center in Jeddah. You can find Nouf on Instagram at Red Sea Citizen and Red Sea Citizen Dive Club. Other resources are listed in our show notes. Thank you for listening. You can find About That Outdoor Job on Instagram, our website, and a number of podcast listening platforms. You can support our new podcast by subscribing and leaving us a review. A review makes our podcast more visible so others can discover it as well. This episode was produced and hosted by me, Charlaine Jannerfeldt.